one piece of martial arts behind the scenes.
Indeed. A lot of gymnastics taking place. But we are here. And good morning to you. You're tuned in to Nationwide This Morning, NTM, the big show. Thank you so much for coming on over and joining us this Monday morning. It is Monday, July 14, 2025. Happy Monday to all our YouTubers, our peeps out there in Radio Land, joining us on the FM band 90.3, 0.5, 7.9. And hello to all our friends joining us from the app or from the website. Good morning. I'm Tawna Thomas, and once George gets the giggles out, he'll definitely say his full name.
Other than that,
Is what?
I told myself to avoid the urge. But because we had mic trouble this morning, I was just tempted to come so.
Oh dear.
Hey. Yo. Hey.
That is fast becoming a thing.
Let me tell you this. I want to say good morning to all of our friends in the politics.
Yeah.
PNP, GLP, everybody. I want to say good morning to the opposition leader, Mark Bowling. Good morning to Kerencia Morrison. Is it Kerencia Morrison?
Mm-hmm.
Miss Morrison? You need to learn how to behave yourself. Oh boy, Miss Morrison, you need to behave better. And a respectable woman, yes? The Northeast St. Catherine Member of Parliament. Anyway, composure. All right, so all right. I spent. Oh, there's something I have for you for 1 o'clock today in the production meeting. So you need to. Well, you're always there and early. Sometimes I call to say, "You can't come here early today."
Very
have to relax. Yeah, today's very important. So some things I found that I'm going to share with you and the team as we prepare for this big dance.
Yes.
But messaging in politics is an art. The crafting of the message, the delivery of the message, there's an art to those things. Staying on message is also an art. And what we can say is that our friends on Team Orange have let themselves down where 1, the message crafting is concerned, 2, the message delivery is concerned, and 3, staying on message is concerned. 3 things interrelated, but there's one distinct part of that troika of things I just mentioned. Notice in this election campaign so far, those things which the PNP signposted in the budget debate as being its offering to the Jamaican people, to put them into office. Even though the official campaign period has not started. The official campaign period is that period when nomination day is known and election day is known, and you are running a dead run right to the election. That's the official campaign period, but there's no pretense about it. We're in full campaign mode, and we've been so for a while. The big ideas from the budget debate, the PNP has not been telling the Jamaican people about them. When I look back at Julian Robinson's presentation, he was the first of the 2 PNP contributors in the budget debate. And he spoke of the 4 E's: energy, efficiency, emerging economies, and education. Apart from a response to the JLP's decision to signal to the JPS that they're not renewing the contract under the current terms when the thing comes. What else has anyone heard from the PNP about energy on the campaign trail? That would count as a failure in messaging. Efficiency. What have our friends from the PNP said about efficiency on the campaign trail? I don't hear anything. So if you've heard, tell me. And when you hear, tell me. Emerging economies, as articulated by Julian Robinson. When have the PNP spoken about their emerging economies idea as put on the table by Julian Robinson during the budget debate? It is under education that we've heard something from them on the campaign trail. And it's almost by book up, because education has come to the fore because of their criticism of the school bus program. And this is what I mean by the difference in the three things I mentioned, because your own ideas have not been given the oxygen for the flames to burn brightly or the flames to spark at all on the campaign trail. And it is in your criticism of something that the JLP has put on the table that you've then had to pivot back to your policy to make it all make sense. In other words, because the rural school bus program sounds so good and appears to be something on which an election can turn, the PNP went full force into attacking it without testing the message that they were carrying and without working out how best to communicate their opposition to it. After you've tested the message, to say, okay, this is what we're going to say, this is how we're going to say it. It has blown up spectacularly, as we all have seen. And it is only after it blew up that the PNP has been trying to say, oh, well, what about our ride and ease idea from our budget speech? This is what we're going to do on the ride. This is how ease complements ride, so forth, so forth. So it is the JLP's message on that aspect of education, which includes transporting students, that has been foremost on the PNP's campaign, rather than the PNP's own message about ride and ease being foremost on the PNP's campaign. That is not the best way to go about it, and they know. So here's the thing now. You come to the point where you say the school bus program, as articulated by the government, is dodgy, faulty, now work, kill off people, pick, now all of the inflammatory things that have been said. Everybody knows now what the JLP's plan is, thanks to the PNP. How many people at random you walk up to them somewhere and said, okay, what is at the heart of the PNP's ride and ease program, complementary programs to solve one of the big problems in education? Precious people will be able to tell you about it because the party hasn't spent time talking about it. And you look at the messenger. I noticed Peter Bunting was conspicuous by his absence from the big happenings on the weekend on the campaign trail. I don't know if he has taken himself away, because certainly nobody can tell him to go away. If he's been stood down by his own decision. But when you look at who is carrying the message for the PNP, Bunting has not been known to be one of the most dynamic campaign speakers. But we understand why he has to take a front and center role on the campaign. Because, listeners, viewers, it's all about positioning. Remember, the PNP is on a mission to take Jamaica House. That's their plan. That's what they're working for. But it can go wrong. They can lose. And so, down to the seat that Bunting has chosen, South Manchester, he has calculated and strategized. I need to put myself in a position to give myself the best chance of getting into Jamaica House. Because if this thing goes belly up and we lose, I would still stand a very good chance of getting into Gordon House. Not as a senator, but of course as a member of the House of Representatives. And if this PNP loses, it's very likely that there'll be new leadership. Him can run the party from the Senate, which of course is why we're in this position with Mark Golding as leader. Isn't it true? So someone who this kind of messaging is not their forte, Bunting has many strengths. A dynamic political campaign speaker is not one of them, as has been proven palpably clear. But he has to be there, has to be perhaps intruding on the message delivery. Perhaps Nathan Campbell, the General Secretary, wouldn't prefer it that way, but I'm not on a bad blood, so he lets certain things go. And Bunting has helped to talk the PNP into a hole where this transportation of students is concerned, when so over the top, when a wily campaign speaker would have known that, well, this is too much. Let me take a little dig at it, take a little nibble, and ease off. So a lot of things wrapped into it. Messenger, you can't get the messenger wrong. Message, you can't get the message wrong. Messaging, you can't get the messaging wrong either. And someone say, but George, how you know that the message wrong? You know how I know the message wrong? I was happy the weekend is over. The number of calls and WhatsApp messages I've fielded from people sympathetic to the PNP, trying to fight their corner where the school bus thing is concerned. Everything them saying, aha, this proves that the bus program, as articulated by Vaz, is a sham. When they get the rebuttal, all right, what about this? Aha! Person after person, message after message, with it tired, overwhelmed, circuit overload. And that proves that the vloggers and the sympathizers who've been pressed into service, realizing that real damage was done by virtue of the message, by virtue of the messaging, and how the messenger helped to compound mistakes made on the headline message and headline messaging. And all I have to say is that these people know the politics far better than I do. They're practitioners. But they should know it's a fatal error one makes when it gets the 3 M's wrong.